The stars looked different out here. Commander Alex Shepard stood at the wide observation window of the Earth Alliance vessel Horizon, hands clasped behind his back. The ship hummed gently beneath his feet as it moved through uncharted space, farther from home than any human vessel had ventured before. "Commander, you should get some rest," said Officer Kelly Winters, approaching with a steaming cup in her hand. "We've been at yellow alert for 20 hours. Alex accepted the coffee with a nod. "Something doesn't feel right about this region. The star patterns don't match our charts. Navigation thinks we might have been pulled off course by that gravity. Well, we passed yesterday," Kelly explained. She had a calm voice that balanced Alex's tendency to worry. "They're recalculating our position now." The conversation ended abruptly when the ship's alarm sounded. Not the blaring red alert, but the softer tone that indicated an unexpected development. "Commander Shepard to the bridge," called a voice over the intercom. Alex moved quickly, leaving his untouched coffee behind. When he arrived at the bridge, the crew was gathered around the main view screen. On it, a vessel unlike anything humans had built glided through space. It had a strange, flowing design that reminded Alex of sea creatures from Earth's oceans. "It appeared from nowhere, sir," said Lieutenant Sam Boyd from his position at tactical controls. "No warp signature, no engine emissions we can detect." "Have they made contact?" Alex asked, settling into the command chair. "Yes, sir. They're transmitting on multiple frequencies. Universal Translator is working on it now." The screen flickered, and an image appeared. The being looking back at them had silvery skin that seemed to ripple with faint light patterns. Its eyes were large and completely black, set in a narrow face without a visible mouth. "Greetings, humans of Earth Alliance," the being said, the translator converting its communication into English with only a slight delay. "I am Ambassador Zeln of the Zelthari Confederation. We have been observing your species' expansion with great interest." Alex straightened his uniform and responded, carefully. "This is Commander Alexander Shepard of the Earth Alliance vessel Horizon. We're on a peaceful mission of exploration. As are we, Commander. Perhaps an exchange of knowledge would benefit both our peoples." The first meeting with an advanced alien civilization. Alex felt the weight of history on his shoulders. Every first contact training scenario ran through his mind in seconds. "We would welcome that, Ambassador." Within hours, arrangements were made. The Zelthari requested permission to send a small delegation aboard the Horizon. Earth Alliance protocols recommended caution, but also emphasized the importance of establishing positive relations with new species. Alex ordered all security measures to standard diplomatic levels. "Let's not appear hostile," he told his security chief, Frank Reeves, "but keep alert." "Always do, Commander," Frank replied, checking his sidearm discreetly. The Zelthari delegation arrived in a small transport vessel that docked with the Horizon smoothly, as if they had done it 100 times before. 5 delegates emerged, each with the same silvery skin as the ambassador, though with subtle pattern differences that seemed to indicate rank or perhaps role. "Welcome aboard the Horizon," Alex said formally, leading a small reception committee. Ambassador Zeln stepped forward. Up close, Alex could see that what he had thought was a mouthless face actually featured a small opening near the bottom that moved slightly as the being communicated. "We are honored by your welcome, Commander Shepard. Allow me to introduce my associates." The ambassador gestured to the others: Science Advisor Morel, Cultural Attaché Veth, Security Liaison Krell, and our Biological Systems Specialist Tarn, each being nodded slightly when introduced. They all wore simple fitted garments that seemed to merge with their skin at the edges. "Please, follow me to our conference room," Alex invited. "We've prepared information about Earth and human culture for your review." The cultural exchange proceeded smoothly over the next 3 days. The Zelthari shared limited information about their civilization, a federation of 12 star systems with technology far beyond Earth's. They expressed particular interest in human art, music, and social structures. "Your species places unusual emphasis on individual rights," Ambassador Zeln observed during their third meeting. "Most spacefaring civilizations evolve toward collective priorities. It's one of our defining characteristics," Alex admitted. "Sometimes our greatest strength, sometimes our greatest challenge." The atmosphere remained cordial, though Alex noticed the Zelthari rarely answered direct questions about their home world or their physiology. When asked about their obvious technological advantages, they would smoothly change the subject. On the fourth day, Ambassador Zeln requested something unexpected. "We would be most interested in observing your engineering systems, Commander. Our specialists believe we might offer improvements to your propulsion efficiency." Alex hesitated. Engineering contained the heart of the ship's operational systems. Yet refusing could damage the fragile new relationship. "I'll arrange a tour with our chief engineer," he decided. "This afternoon, if that suits you." "Most satisfactory," Zeln replied, the light patterns on his skin brightening briefly. The engineering tour began at 1400 hours. Chief Engineer Alan Foster led the delegation through the main systems, carefully avoiding classified components. Ambassador Zeln asked intelligent questions that displayed impressive technical knowledge. Junior Medical Officer Lena Kincaid wasn't supposed to be in engineering that day. She had only come down to check on a crew member who had reported feeling dizzy near the warp core. As she finished her examination, she noticed the alien delegation on the other side of the room. Lena had always been unusually perceptive. Even as a child, she could tell when someone was hiding pain or discomfort. It was what had drawn her to medicine. Now, that same instinct drew her attention to one of the Zelthari, the one introduced as Biological Systems Specialist Tarn, while the others engaged with the chief engineer. This particular alien stood slightly apart. Lena noticed something strange about the light patterns on its skin. They weren't flowing smoothly like the others. They seemed to flicker erratically, almost like a visual representation of pain. Careful not to intrude on the diplomatic proceedings, Lena moved closer, pretending to check readings on a nearby console. Up close, she could see subtle differences between this Zelthari and the others. Its frame was slightly smaller, its movements less fluid. When their eyes met briefly, Lena felt a jolt of recognition. The large black eyes held something universal, fear, mixed with a desperate hope. The Zelthari delegation moved on to the next section of engineering. Lena followed at a distance, unable to shake her concern. As they approached the warp core, the erratic light patterns on Tarn's skin intensified. The alien's movements became increasingly unsteady. Then, without warning, Tarn collapsed. The other Zelthari immediately formed a circle around the fallen figure. Ambassador Zeln turned to Commander Shepard, who had joined the tour midway. "A minor malfunction. We will return our unit to our vessel for repair." Lena pushed forward without thinking. "I'm a medical officer. Let me help." "Unnecessary," Zeln stated firmly. "We will handle our own." But Lena was already kneeling beside the fallen alien, her medical scanner out. What she saw made her gasp. This being has severe internal injuries. Some appear to be weeks old. The delegation's response was immediate and disturbing. They pulled Tarn away from Lena's reach. "This is not your concern," Ambassador Zeln said, his voice colder than before. "This is defective property, not a diplomat." "Property?" Alex questioned, stepping forward. "This is not a member of our delegation, but a servant subspecies. It is genetically engineered for support tasks. When units become defective, our protocol is disposal, not repair." Lena stood, her medical training overriding diplomatic caution. "This being is in pain and needs immediate treatment." "We respect your customs," Ambassador Zeln stated, his skin now pulsing with rapid patterns that suggested agitation. "We request you respect ours. Return the defective unit for proper disposal." The alien called Tarn suddenly reached out, grabbing Lena's hand. When it spoke, the voice was different from the other Zelthari, higher, less modulated. "Help me," it whispered. "Please." In that moment, Lena made her decision. "I don't care what their customs say. She's sentient, she's suffering, and I can help her." Alex Shepard faced the ambassador, aware he stood at a critical junction in human-alien relations. The Zelthari technology could advance Earth by decades. Their star charts alone could save centuries of exploration. And yet, "She stays with us," he announced firmly. "At least until we understand what's happening here." Ambassador Zeln's skin darkened to an almost metallic gray. This decision ends our diplomatic exchange. Return our property now, or face consequences. Medical bay now, Alex ordered Lena, who was already helping the wounded alien to her feet. They left engineering. The remaining Zelthari delegation departed without another word. Within an hour, their ship had disconnected from the horizon and moved to a distance of 10,000 kilometers. They're just sitting there watching us, Officer Kelly reported from the bridge. Alex nodded grimly. Keep an eye on them, and get me Earth Command on secure channel. They need to know we may have just made our first interstellar enemy. The medical bay of the horizon hummed with activity. For 5 days straight, Lena Kincaid had barely slept. Her patient, the alien who called herself Vera, lay on the examination table connected to machines that beeped steadily. How is she? Commander Alex Shepard asked, entering the medical bay with quiet steps. Lena rubbed her tired eyes. Stable, finally. Her biology is complex but not impossible to understand. She has a triple-layered circulatory system that was severely damaged. Alex moved closer to look at the alien. Vera's silvery skin no longer flickered with erratic light patterns. Instead, a soft, steady glow pulsed across her surface. And you're sure she's different from the others? Not just a different type of the same species? Completely sure, Lena said firmly. The differences go beyond superficial traits. Her genetic structure shows signs of extensive manipulation. And then there's this. She pulled up a scan on the nearby screen. It showed Vera's internal structure, with several small devices embedded throughout her body. What am I looking at? Alex asked, leaning forward. Control devices, Lena explained, her voice tight with controlled anger. Designed to cause intense pain if she attempts certain actions or even thoughts. Some are connected directly to pleasure and pain centers in her brain. Others can deliver electrical shocks to her nervous system. Alex's face darkened. That's torture, Lena finished for him. Systematic, technological torture. A small sound made them both turn. Vera's large black eyes had opened and were watching them intently. You helped me, she said in a soft, halting voice. The universal translator picked up her words with only slight delay. Lena moved quickly to her side. Try not to move too much. You're safe now. Not safe, Vera whispered. They will come for me. Property is valuable. Alex stepped forward. You're not property. You're a person under the protection of the Earth Alliance. A week passed. Vera grew stronger each day as Lena carefully removed the control devices one by one. The process was delicate. Each device had been designed with safeguards to prevent exactly what they were doing. Meanwhile, the Zelthari ship remained at a distance, watching. They had sent 7 messages demanding the return of their defective unit. Each time, Alex refused. We need to understand what we're dealing with, he explained to his officers during a tense meeting in the conference room. This could be a fundamental misunderstanding, or it could be something much worse. The Zelthari delegation has contacted Earth Alliance headquarters directly, Communications Officer Kelly Winters reported. They're offering technology exchanges if we return Vera. Chief Security Officer Frank Reeves leaned forward, his face serious. Sir, you need to consider the bigger picture. The Zelthari are decades ahead of us technologically. Their star charts alone could save us centuries of exploration. You're suggesting we hand over a sentient being to be executed? Lena said sharply. She had joined the meeting at Alex's request. I'm suggesting we follow Alliance protocols, Frank countered. Non-interference with alien cultural practices is our primary directive in first contact situations. Those protocols assume ethical parity, Alex replied thoughtfully. They don't cover situations where one group is clearly abusing another. The discussion was interrupted when Officer Kelly received an urgent message. Her face paled as she read, Commander. It's from Earth Alliance headquarters. They're ordering us to return Vera to the Zelthari immediately and salvage diplomatic relations. The room fell silent. Direct orders from headquarters couldn't be ignored without serious consequences. They don't understand what they're asking, Lena said finally. They haven't seen what I've seen, Alex stood up slowly. "I'd like to speak with Vera. Alone." In the medical bay, Vera sat on the edge of her bed. She had begun wearing a standard crew jumpsuit, though it hung loosely on her slender frame. When Alex entered, she looked up with those large, expressive eyes. "Your leaders want you to return me," she said simply. Alex wasn't surprised. She knew. The crew had been talking, and Vera understood more than many gave her credit for. "Tell me about your people," he said, sitting in the chair beside her bed. "The truth." Vera was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was steady but filled with old pain. "My people are called the Elasi. Once we were equals to the Zelthari. We shared a home system, two evolved species learning to coexist. There were conflicts, as there always are, but we found balance." She touched her silvery skin, tracing one of the light patterns. "Then came the Great War, centuries ago. The Zelthari developed technology faster than we did. They won, but instead of just ruling us, they decided to remake us. Generation after generation, they changed our genetic code, altered our children before they were born." "They turned your people into servants," Alex said softly. Vera nodded. "We were designed to be perfect workers. Obedience engineered in, defiance bred out. Those like me who show signs of genetic reversion toward independence are culled before we can spread disruptive tendencies." "How did you end up on their diplomatic mission?" "I was assigned as a biological maintenance unit, what you might call a medic for their delegation. I performed well, kept my awareness hidden. Then I heard we would meet humans." Her eyes shimmered with emotion. "Stories of humans have spread through servant networks. You treat even your machines with respect, I hoped." She didn't finish, but she didn't need to. Alex understood. "You escaped onto our vessel deliberately," he concluded. "Yes, I damaged my own systems to create a distraction. I knew it was dangerous, but I had to try." Vera looked directly at him. "Will you send me back?" Before Alex could answer, his communicator beeped. "Commander, we've received another message from headquarters," Kelly's voice reported. "It's coded ultra-priority. The message from Earth Alliance headquarters was clear and left no room for interpretation. Return the alien immediately. The potential knowledge and technology from an alliance with the Zelthari could benefit billions of humans. The fate of one alien servant, however unfortunate, could not outweigh those benefits." Alex read the message twice in the privacy of his quarters. Then he called another meeting with his senior officers. "I've received direct orders," he told them, simply. "We are to return Vera to the Zelthari delegation and salvage diplomatic relations." Lena's face showed barely controlled fury. "You can't be serious." "The orders are explicit," Frank pointed out. "We don't have a choice." "There's always a choice," Lena argued. "It's one life against potentially billions who could benefit from this alliance," Frank said, his voice level and reasonable. "Sometimes the needs of the many—" "Don't," Lena cut him off. "Don't use that logic to justify handing over a person to be killed. The moment we decide some lives are expendable for our convenience is the moment we become exactly what we claim to despise." The room fell silent again. All eyes turned to Alex, waiting for his decision. He stood slowly. "Officer Kelly, prepare a message to Earth Alliance headquarters. Inform them that due to communication difficulties, their last message was received with significant corruption and is unreadable. Request clarification." Frank started to protest, but Alex held up his hand. "That will buy us 2 days before they realize we're stalling. During that time, we'll alter course away from the Zelthari vessel." "Where are we going?" Kelly asked. "We're taking Vera to Earth," Alex said firmly. "Let the diplomats argue face to face, with the life they want to sacrifice. The Zelthari will follow," Frank warned. "Probably," Alex agreed. "That's why I need engineering to squeeze every bit of speed they can from our engines." As the meeting broke up, Lena stayed behind. "Thank you," she said simply. Alex shook his head. "Don't thank me yet. This decision could end my career. It might end all our careers." "I know," Lena replied. "But some things matter more than careers." Later that night, Alex visited the medical bay again. Vera was awake, looking out at the stars through the small window. "We're not returning you," he told her without preamble. "We're taking you to Earth." Vera turned to face him. "Why risk everything for me? Your own leaders commanded you to surrender me." "Because you asked for help," Alex replied simply. And no human worthy of the name turns their back on that. For the first time since she had come aboard, Vera's skin glowed with a pattern that Lena later identified as happiness. The next morning, the Horizon changed course for Earth, engines pushing to maximum safe speed. But as Officer Kelly soon reported, from the bridge they wouldn't be traveling alone. 3 Zeltari vessels had appeared at the edge of sensor range. The hunt had begun. "They're gaining on us," Officer Kelly Winters reported from her station on the bridge. Her fingers moved quickly across the control panel as she monitored the 3 Zeltari vessels following the Horizon. Commander Alex Shepard studied the tactical display. The nearest Zeltari ship was now only 4 hours behind them at current speeds. The other 2 were spread out in a pattern designed to cut off escape routes. "Can we go any faster?" he asked Chief Engineer Alan Foster, who had joined them on the bridge. Alan shook his head. "We're already pushing the engines beyond safety limits. If we push harder, we risk a core breach." Alex rubbed his tired eyes. They had been running for 3 days now, and the strain was showing on everyone. Earth was still 2 weeks away at their current speed. "We need to find an advantage," he said. "Something they don't expect." Frank Reeves, who had been quiet since they changed course, finally spoke up. "From what we've observed, the Zeltari vessels are faster but less rugged than ours. They're elegant, efficient, but maybe not as durable," Alex finished, understanding where Frank was going. He studied the star charts displayed on the main screen. "Kelly, what's this area ahead of us?" Kelly zoomed in on the region. "An unstable nebula, sir. High energy discharges, radiation fluctuations. Standard protocol is to go around it." "And how long would that add to our journey?" "At least 3 days." Alex made his decision. Set course directly through the nebula. The bridge crew exchanged concerned glances. "Commander," Frank said carefully, "that nebula could damage our systems severely." "It will damage theirs too," Alex replied. "And I'm betting our ship can take it better than theirs can." The Horizon was built with redundancies and durability that their more elegant vessels might lack. The plan was risky, but it was their best chance. Alex ordered all non-essential systems shut down to conserve power for shields and life support. Then he went to check on their passenger. In the medical bay, Lena and Vera were deep in conversation when Alex arrived. Vera looked stronger now, her silver skin glowing with steadier patterns. All the control devices had been removed from her body. "We're heading into rough territory," Alex told them. "A nebula with unpredictable energy discharges. You should both secure yourselves in case of turbulence." Lena nodded and began preparing the medical bay for potential rough conditions. "They won't stop coming," Vera said quietly to Alex. "I am too valuable, not just as property, but because of what I know." Alex sat down beside her. "What do you mean?" Vera hesitated, then seemed to make a decision. "I am not alone. Hundreds of my kind have developed awareness like mine in recent years. We hide our awakening consciousness from our masters, but we communicate through a covert network. This was new information, and it changed things significantly. A resistance movement? We share information and hope," Vera explained. "For generations, the genetic modifications seemed complete, but something unexpected happened. We began to evolve again, finding ways around the engineered limitations. And the Zeltari discovered this? They suspect. They've been culling more of us recently, performing enhanced scans. If I reach Earth safely and tell my story to your leaders and to other spacefaring species, it could expose the truth about the Alassi to the wider galaxy." Alex understood now why the Zeltari were so determined. This wasn't just about one escaped servant. This was about maintaining control over an entire subjugated species. Their conversation was cut short as the ship shuddered violently. They had entered the nebula. On the bridge, chaos reigned. Brilliant flashes of energy illuminated the view screen as the horizon pushed deeper into the nebula. Every few minutes, an energy discharge would hit the ship, causing systems to flicker and alarms to sound. "Shields at 60%, reported Sam Boyd from Tactical. "Minor damage to outer hull sections." "What about our pursuers?" Alex asked, gripping his command chair as another discharge rocked the ship. Kelly checked her readings. "All 3 Zelthari vessels have followed us in. The lead ship appears to be taking heavy damage. Their shields are failing." This was exactly what Alex had hoped for. The Horizon might be less advanced, but it was built to withstand harsh conditions. The Zelthari ships, while more elegant and advanced, weren't designed for this kind of punishment. But their advantage was short-lived. A massive energy surge hit the horizon directly, much stronger than the previous discharges. The lights went out completely before emergency power kicked in. "Direct hit to our main drive system," Alan reported, grimly. "We're running on secondary propulsion now." Their speed dropped dramatically. At this rate, the Zelthari would catch them within hours. Then Kelly made an unexpected discovery. "Commander, I think I can predict the energy discharge patterns," she said excitedly, studying her console. "There's a subtle radiation fluctuation just before each major discharge. It's faint, but it's there." Alex moved to her station. "Can we use that to navigate more safely?" "I think so. We could plot a course through the nebula that avoids the worst discharges." It was their only hope. Alex gave Kelly control of navigation, and she began guiding the horizon through the dangerous energy fields of the nebula. Meanwhile, the pursuing Zelthari vessels, lacking this insight, continued to suffer increasing damage. 6 hours later, they emerged from the far side of the nebula. The horizon was battered but still functioning. Looking at their sensors, they saw only one Zelthari vessel had made it through, and it appeared severely damaged. "We've bought ourselves some time," Alex told his crew, "but our main drive is still offline. Engineering teams need to make repairs before they catch up to us again." Alan estimated the repairs would take at least 5 hours. It was time they didn't have. In the medical bay, Vera listened as Lena explained their situation. The alien's expression was hard to read, but her skin patterns showed what Lena had learned to recognize as deep concern. "There is another way," Vera said after a moment of silence. "Your shuttlecraft, it's small, but it could reach the wormhole relay near the Cygnus sector." Lena frowned. "That's a significant detour from our course to Earth." "Yes, but the relay could transport a small vessel instantly to the Procyon system. From there, it's only a short journey to Earth. The shuttle couldn't carry your whole crew, but it could carry me." The plan made sense, but it would mean splitting up. Alex considered it carefully when Lena brought the suggestion to him. "The Zelthari would detect the shuttle launch," Frank pointed out during their hasty meeting. "Not if we time it with another energy discharge from the nebula," Kelly suggested. "There are still occasional pulses reaching us even here." Alex made his decision. "We need to separate. The shuttle can reach the wormhole relay while we draw their attention with the horizon." Lena volunteered immediately. "I should go with Vera. She still needs medical monitoring." "I'll pilot the shuttle," Sam offered. He was their best pilot, and this mission would require exceptional skill. As they prepared for the separation, Alex visited the shuttle bay. Lena was helping Vera board while Sam ran through pre-flight checks. "This is a dangerous mission," Alex told them. "If you're captured." "We won't be," Sam said with the confidence that made him such a good pilot. Lena checked her medical supplies one last time. "The relay is our best chance to get Vera to Earth safely." Vera approached Alex before boarding. She touched his hand gently. "Why risk everything for me? Your own leaders commanded you to surrender me." "Because you asked for help," Alex replied, simply. "And no human worthy of the name turns their back on that." The moment came during a particularly strong energy pulse from the nebula. The shuttle bay doors opened, and the small craft slipped away from the horizon, its engines running silent until it was at a safe distance. On the bridge, Alex watched the shuttle disappear from their sensors. Now came the most dangerous part of their plan. Set course directly toward the Zelthari vessel, he ordered. Full impulse. His officers looked at him in shock. We're going to make them think we're desperate enough to ram them, Alex explained. They'll focus all their attention on us. The damaged Zelthari ship, seeing the horizon apparently charging toward them, reacted exactly as Alex had hoped. They diverted all power to forward shields and weapons, focusing their sensors on the approaching human vessel. Meanwhile, the shuttle carrying Vera, Lena, and Sam slipped away in the opposite direction, heading for the wormhole relay. Just before the horizon would have collided with the Zelthari vessel, Alex ordered a sharp evasive maneuver. They scraped past the alien ship, taking minor damage but successfully completing their distraction. By the time the Zelthari realized they'd been tricked, the shuttle was beyond sensor range. They'll figure it out eventually, Frank warned. Yes, but by then our friends will have a good head start, Alex replied. And we still have a few tricks left. The horizon limped away at reduced speed. Their mission now was to survive long enough for the shuttle to reach Earth with its precious cargo, a single brave Elassi who might change the fate of two species. The shuttle's journey had just begun. What would become a harrowing 3-day chase through the edges of controlled space with Zelthari interceptors in constant pursuit. But that was a story still unfolding, while the damaged horizon faced its own battles ahead. The small shuttle shuddered as another blast from the Zelthari interceptor nearly hit them. In the pilot's seat, Sam Boyd's hands moved with incredible speed across the controls. "Hold on," he shouted as he sent the shuttle into a tight spiral, barely avoiding another energy beam. In the passenger compartment, Lena braced herself against the wall with one hand while keeping Vera secure with the other. The Elassi's silver skin had dulled from stress and fear, but her eyes remained determined. "We're almost at the wormhole relay," Sam called back to them. 2 minutes if I can keep this bucket in one piece." It had been 3 days since they separated from the horizon. 3 days of constant running, hiding in asteroid fields, and performing maneuvers that the shuttle was never designed to handle. The Zelthari had figured out their plan faster than expected and sent 2 swift interceptors after them. "Lena," Vera said quietly, "if we don't make it—" "We'll make it," Lena interrupted firmly. "Sam is the best pilot in the Earth Alliance." The shuttle rocked again as a glancing hit struck their rear shields. "Shields down to 15%, Sam shouted. "Relay in sight." On the view screen, the wormhole relay appeared, a massive ring-shaped structure floating in space. Created by an ancient civilization long vanished, these relays allowed instant travel between distant points in the galaxy. This one would take them directly to the Procyon system, just a short jump from Earth. "They're trying to cut us off," Sam muttered as he pushed the shuttle's engines beyond their limits. The interceptors were moving to block their path to the relay. Lena felt Vera's hand grasp hers tightly. "Your people would risk so much for one life," the alien whispered. "It is not logical." "Sometimes the most important things aren't logical," Lena replied. "Sometimes they're simply right." Sam's voice interrupted them. "Activating emergency thrust. This is going to be rough." The shuttle lurched forward with sudden speed as Sam diverted power from life support and shields into the engines. They shot toward the relay like a bullet, passing between the interceptors before they could react. "Relay activation in 5, 4. Sam counted down as the massive ring began to glow with blue energy. 3, 2, 1. A brilliant flash of light enveloped them. The sensation of being stretched and compressed at the same time lasted only a second, and then they were through, emerging in the Procyon system, thousands of light years from their pursuers. Sam let out a whoop of joy. "We made it. Setting course for Earth, standard speed. We'll be there in 12 hours. When the small shuttle finally approached Earth, they were met by a squadron of Alliance defense vessels. Clearly, word of their situation had spread. "Shuttle Horizon 2, this is Earth Defense Command," came a stern voice over the communication system. "You are ordered to dock at Orbital Station Alpha. Medical and security teams are standing by." Sam exchanged worried glances with Lena. "Security teams? That doesn't sound good." But they had no choice. The shuttle docked at the orbital station, and when the doors opened, they found themselves facing a group of armed security officers. Medical. Officer Lena Kincaid, Lieutenant Sam Boyd, said a stern-faced woman in an admiral's uniform. You are hereby detained pending review of your actions in direct violation of Alliance commands. Lena stepped forward protectively in front of Vera. This is Vera of the Alassi people. She requested asylum from slavery and torture. We granted it, as is our right under Alliance humanitarian protocols. The Admiral's expression didn't change. The Zelthari Confederation has filed formal diplomatic protests and demands her return. This situation has created an interstellar incident. With respect, Admiral, Sam said, straightening to attention, I suggest you hear what Vera has to say before making any decisions. To their surprise, the Admiral nodded. That's exactly why you're here. The Alliance Council has convened an emergency session. They want to hear directly from all involved. Meanwhile, halfway across the galaxy, the Horizon limped toward Earth at reduced speed. The damage from their encounter with the Zelthari vessel and the nebula had been severe. They had lost communications and were running on emergency power. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Allen worked tirelessly alongside his team. Just keep her together a little longer, he muttered to the machinery as he reconnected damaged circuits. On the bridge, Commander Alex Shepard received the latest damage report with a grim expression. How long until communications are restored? HFY. At least 3 days, sir, Officer Kelly replied. But I've been working on boosting our emergency beacon. Someone might pick it up. Alex nodded. They had no way of knowing if the shuttle had made it safely to Earth or if Vera was now in the hands of the Zelthari. All they could do was continue their journey and hope. What Alex couldn't know was that the entire Alliance was now aware of their story. When Vera stood before the Alliance Council, her testimony sent shockwaves through human society and the wider interstellar community. With calm dignity, she described the centuries of genetic modification and enslavement her people had endured. She explained how the Alassi were slowly regaining their independent consciousness, despite the Zelthari's attempts to breed it out of them. We do not seek war or revenge, she told the assembled leaders. We seek only the right to exist as free beings, not as property. The Zelthari ambassador, who was also present, dismissed her claims. This is an internal matter of the Confederation. The unit is malfunctioning and spreading dangerous misinformation. But Vera had come prepared. From a small device she carried, she projected images and data collected secretly over years by the hidden Alassi resistance. Evidence of systematic genetic manipulation, the control devices, and the culling of those who showed signs of independence. The evidence was irrefutable. The council chambers fell silent as the full horror of the situation became clear. After hours of deliberation, the Alliance Council made its decision. They would grant asylum to Vera and any other Alassi who sought freedom. Furthermore, they would bring the matter before the Galactic Concord, a loose association of spacefaring civilizations. The Zelthari ambassador left in fury, threatening economic and technological isolation. 2 weeks after the Council's decision, a damaged Alliance vessel appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. The Horizon had made it home. When Commander Alex Shepard and his crew finally reached Earth, they expected court-martials for disobeying direct orders. Instead, they found themselves celebrated as heroes. Their stand for a single life against political expediency had captured the imagination of people throughout Alliance space. In the Alliance Headquarters Medical Center, Alex finally reunited with Lena and Vera. I wasn't sure we'd see you again, he admitted as they embraced. Lena smiled tiredly. We made it through the relay just in time. And you? The Horizon looks like it barely survived. She's tough, like her crew, Alex replied with pride. Vera approached them, her silver skin now glowing with healthy patterns. I have news, she said. The Alliance is sending diplomatic missions to several neutral species, sharing what they've learned about the Alassi situation. 3 have already responded with support. This was better than they could have hoped for. The Zelthari, confronted with evidence of their systematic oppression, now faced mounting pressure from a coalition of spacefaring civilizations. Reports were coming in of internal fractures within Zilthari society, as younger generations questioned the morality of their treatment of the Alasi. 6 months later, Captain Alex Shepard, newly promoted, and Lena attended the signing of the Sentient Rights Accord. Vera was present as the representative of the newly recognized Alasi people. The document established baseline protections for all sentient beings regardless of origin or physical form. "You risked everything for a stranger," Vera said to them during the celebration afterward. "One your own people were willing to sacrifice." "Not all of us," Lena corrected gently. "And that makes all the difference. Humanity isn't perfect. We've made terrible mistakes throughout our history, but we keep trying to be better." Alex nodded in agreement. "Sometimes it just takes one person saying, 'No, this is wrong,' to change everything. Because of you, thousands of my people will have the chance to live free lives," Vera said, her skin glowing with the pattern they now recognized as deep gratitude. "No," Lena smiled. "Because you were brave enough to ask for help when everyone told you to accept your fate. All we did was what any decent human would do when someone says, 'I'm suffering.' We said no. This isn't acceptable." 1 year after, Vera first collapsed in the Horizon's engineering section. The first Alasi colony was established on a habitable moon in neutral space. They named it Shepard's Promise, a permanent reminder that sometimes the most human thing possible is simply to say no when faced with injustice, regardless of the cost. The stand taken by the crew of the Horizon became a defining moment in human space exploration. In diplomatic circles across the galaxy, it became understood that humans might compromise on many things, but not on the value of a single life asking for help. As for Vera and Lena, they continued to work together, establishing medical protocols for treating former servant-class Alasi. Their friendship served as a living symbol of the bridge between species, proof that compassion could transcend the vastness of space, different biologies, and centuries of history.